Oh, this is way too close. Hold on. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today's video is going to be me rating all of the BookTok books that I personally own. So my physical copies. I have currently read over 105 books. Don't ask me how I did that. Do you guys guess it? Yeah, smut. Literally spicy icy books. Smut. But I decided, like, I do have a big library. The books that you see right here is all the books that I haven't read, so I just pulled out some books that I have read, and most of them are from BookTok. So let's get this started. First book is The Ice Planet Barbarians by Ruby Dixon. Let me tell you, I read this book, actually almost the whole series. I read up to, like, I think 12 books, and I took a little break because I was like, wow, I am way too invested in this series. I started reading this series as a jokey joke, something like ha ha ha, but literally jokes on me. I really fell in love with this series, and it wasn't just because of like the spicy scenes, it was more of the character development. So if you haven't read this is basically about a group of women that got abducted by green aliens, and then they end up landing on an ice planet full of big giant 7-foot blue aliens. And there's a lot of scenes there. They have little kinks going on. So if you want to read this, it's really good. I think I rated 4 out of 5, which in my rating scale, that means I couldn't forget this book. I thought it was really good, and the writing was really good as well. Next book is not a romance novel, actually. I love romance novels, but this is the first one that wasn't a romance novel. It was more of a, hey, I'm trying to find love within myself. Girls, I saw this on BookTok because I saw the story behind it. The author, her grandmother passed away. This is her first debut book, and this is the last book that her grandma ever read. And I thought it was so hard. I just had to grab it. And it's basically about, like, think about Devil Wear Prada. It's very Gen Z. I read this book twice. When I first read this book, I was like, oh, this is amazing. Like, I personally, like, I love the New York vibes of it, of a girl who's going to this big city, and she meets this boss that's extremely rude, and she's trying to find herself within the city and in the company. It's a magazine company. And when I first read it, I was like, oh my god, this is the best book. Like, this is like 4 stars, 5 stars. And then I read it a second time, and I was like, okay, it's not as great as I thought. And that's why I have a problem. I do not wait till the next day to rate. I usually rate the book the day of. I need to learn to wait the next day to rate the book, because I promise you, you realize that it's not the best what you thought it was, but it's still a really good book, and I personally think everybody should read it. If you want to read outside of romance novels, this is a great book to read. And then it's, for me, it was pretty good. It was a quick read too. That's another thing too. Oh my gosh. Okay, if you follow me on TikTok, I made a jokey joke video basically saying
I mean, we are literally a week behind. We're 2 weeks behind.
it took me 2 months to read this book, and let me tell you why. We're back. Camera died. But like I was saying, like, it's not like an enemies to lovers, but I think it could be considered an enemies to lovers. But I personally, this is why it took me 2 weeks, 2 months. It took me 2 months because I was annotating it, but also, I don't know, I was not feeling it. It was very slow pace, and like me, I learned I need a little spiciness in my books sometimes, especially as a romance. And it was like, I don't know, a slow burn, but slow for unnecessary reasons. And it was not my favorite BookTok book. And a lot of people recommended it to me. They was like, you didn't, like, Raylan, you should read this book. It's so good. Emily Henry books are so good. And I'm like, okay. And if you can see back here, I have Beach Read, and I bought it because I thought, like, oh, all the Emily Henry book's gonna be great. Yeah, I wished I finished reading this book first before I bought Beach Read. Hello to the people. You're over here like doing the most. Say hi. Oh no. Say hi. Say hey. I'm listening to the book reveals too. Say subscribe. I still read Beach Reads just to say I read it, but also too like I wanted to, maybe that book wasn't for me, but Beach Reads might be better. This book was such a quick read. It's crazy. So think Meghan Markle. Like, he's a prince, she's a rapper, and it's more of like a forbidden love. And I enjoyed every second of this. Like, this didn't have as much of a spice, like I just said, like I probably need, but I actually enjoyed this one, and it was really a quick read. It was my first like, I recommend this book to anybody. Like, if you want a quick read, you want a little funny, something like, if you don't care about references of like the music industry or like how social media works, I would honestly recommend this book. This is actually the first book I bought from BookTok, like, ever. Terms and Conditions by Lauren Asher. I love this series. I was not a fan of Fine Print as much, but Terms and Conditions was way better than Fine Print. If you haven't read the Billionaires series, she has a third book coming out. It's 3 brothers. Basically, their grandpa, he put in a will that they need to do stuff to get like the money and like to own the family business, like to be like, you know, rich. And they don't want their fathers to get any of like the business or nothing because their father's terrible. So this is the oldest brother, and his grandfather basically asked him, hey, you have to get married and have kids before you get this money. This was good. Like, I also relate to Iris because if you don't know, I have a speech impediment, and I also like I am dyslexic. I don't want to put any spoilers. I hate putting spoilers out there, but if anything, I recommend this. But this is, I put it on Goodreads 4 stars, but it really was like 4.5 stars. So I really enjoy this, and I do recommend this book. Y'all, my girl Kidney Ryan. I annotated this one because I knew it was gonna be good. So my first book ever that I read from Kidney Ryan was Long Shot, and I knew, like, I love, like, if you want someone who talks about like just hard conversations, like therapy, mental health, or just like domestic violence, but in a beautiful way, Kidney Ryan is your girl. Book is her newest book that just came out, and it's about 2 people who were divorced and they're going through grief, and they have so many losses. Like, this book, I cried. I do recommend this book. If anything, I recommend this book. Click anything from this video, this book right here, this is my 5 stars, literally 5 stars. Like, I'm so happy. Like, I love my girl Kennedy. Like, I'm times I DM her, she comments on my posts and all that stuff on my Bookstagram. If you're not following me on Bookstagram, you should, because I always post every day, and I always like talking to people. My babies. Okay, I don't care what anybody say, but this book was so good. I actually cried. This is actually the first book that made me cry. Kidney Ryan book, I read her books after this book. This book was before that, and Archer's voice is beautiful. I love reading books that have beautiful meanings and also spice, but mostly beautiful meanings, and I absolutely love this book. And it's so crazy that I think this book was made in like 2014. Like, it was so, but to be timeless, that's another reason why I think understand why people don't like people talk about TikTok, Snapchat, and books and all that stuff, because it doesn't make it timeless. This was extremely timeless to me. Like, it felt like something that I can relate to now. Yeah, I definitely recommend this book. Okay, last but not least, so I don't really like reading cheesy books because they're like, sometimes they're over cheesy, but this one was so cute. Like imagine, okay, imagine you and your best friend goes to the competition. They're in a competition, and it's basically fake dating as well. That's a trope. And she, to get her more like viewership and stuff to win the competition, she asks you to be her fake boyfriend. And they're childhood best friends. So this one was super cute, and it has plus size reputation. I fell in love with this even more because for me, being a girl who is, I'm black and I'm plus size, this is a good like refresher, like, to just get love and be loved. That's the end of my video. If you follow me, all of my socials are favorite fake librarian on Instagram and TikTok. And if you want to follow me on here, like, just like, subscribe, comment down below. And here's the secret emoji for this week. So I hope you guys have a great day, and if you have book recommendations, please comment those too, because I personally love seeing everybody's recommendations. Most of the time I will read them, especially if they're on Kindle Unlimited. Gotta save that money somehow, girl. But I hope you guys have an amazing day. Please like and subscribe, and I see you guys next time. Bye.